Thank you very much, Chairman Marino, and let me commend you for pinch hitting for Chairman Smith, who is, as you know, a very strong advocate of human rights, and during all of my hearings over the last 20-some years, he's been at just about every hearing. So let me just say that this is a very timely hearing, and we're certainly convening this at the right time. Since the November elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo, bipartisan members of both the House and the Senate have called for increased U.S. involvement to stave off violence, death, and the loss of the democratic gains achieved since 2006, the last election that was held. Some of us have been calling for increased involvement for much longer. As a matter of fact, it was last year on the International Women's Day that we began our subcommittee business for the 112th Congress with a hearing on the DRC. Witnesses on the private panel warned that there will be continued crisis and that the election would be a difficult task to cover. The warning was clear and precise. To quote Mr. Affleck, if the situation continues in the same direction as it is now, Congo will have deeply flawed elections in November that will not meet minimum international standards and will be neither free nor fair. Mr. Chairman, in the wake of that hearing, you and I, Mr. Smith, along with Mr. Carnahan, Mr. Thornberry, Mrs. Bass, Mr. Wolf, Mr. McDermott, Mr. Crowley, and Mr. McGovern, sent letters to the White House asking that the President appoint a special envoy, to reappoint a special envoy. Last month, the administration announced the appointment of Ambassador Barry Walkley as special advisor to the Great Lakes region and the DRC. While this is a great step in the right direction, the appointment came weeks after the flawed election and in the midst of a political crisis that could have potentially been avoided. As an advisor instead of an envoy, it is not clear that Ambassador Walkley will have the same political support and resources necessary to succeed in this very challenging mission. Only the second election since emerging out of the brutal civil war, and the November elections were supposed to represent a significant milestone along with the DRC's path towards stabilization. Instead, the elections highlight the severe political crisis that is the undercurrent of all other ailments that plague the Congolese people. It is a crisis that did not start last November or even over the last few decades. The crisis in the Congo stems from its colonial history. As we all know, the Congo was the personal province of the King of Belgium, solely his. And he took resources and had a brutal rule where amputations were started, which we saw in the recent wars in the east of Africa. But that started under King Leopold, and we still see remnants of it today. So many of the things that began many years ago have impacts today. The Congo went through many crises. When it became independent, there was only one college-trained person in the entire country when Belgium just left. So the country started way behind. Then regional conflicts, when Mr. Kabila came after Mobutu's terrible reign. So the country never really has had an opportunity to develop. Then we had the Rwandan and Ugandan help of Kabila to get into office. Then after that, the first African World War, where Angola and Namibia and Zimbabwe fought with the Congo against Uganda and Rwanda. So I think it's amazing that even though things are very bleak, that this country still continues to move forward. And I think that we have to look at the determination of the Congolese people in spite of all of the terrible legacies that have been laid upon them, that they continue to move forward. So now, in the wake of the elections, the Congo is at a critical junction in the history as they move towards peace and stability. The legitimacy of the Kabila regime has been questioned, and the future of democracy hangs in the balance. Joseph Kabila was sworn into office December the 20th. Only one head of state attended, Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. Ambassadors from foreign nations, including the United States, were present at the swearing-in. Rejecting the results, opposition leader Tshisekedi held his own swearing-in under virtual house arrest in his garden. In December, Chairman Smith and I called on the administration to work with our partners in the international community and an inclusive group of Congolese stakeholders to conduct an independent review of reported electoral irregularities to help mediate the crisis to avoid further political unrest. With additional protests planned, we hope that a dialogue is underway. And we must remember that as the political standoff continues to unfold, the people of the Congo continue to suffer. They suffer at the hands of armed groups that rape and pillage to instill fear and to keep resistance away. They suffer from the neglect of a government that lacks the capacity to provide for their basic needs. They suffer from the resource grab that has for hundreds of years, as I mentioned before, left them unconscionably in poverty, while companies and governments, militiamen from their own country, but countries from around the world profit from the misery of the people of the Congo. Today, for the sake of the Congolese people, we are here to examine the lessons learned and figure out a way forward. Lastly, I must add that the American people stand in solidarity with the people of the Congo. One of my constituents, Reverend Phyllis Zoon of Newark, is a mission advocate at the Monmouth Presbytery. Last night, she sent me a passionate letter on behalf of herself and her parish and the Presbyterian Church of the USA, asking me to urge the administration to protect the human rights and democracy in the Congo. Ms. Zoom expressed concern for the citizens killed at the hands of the Congolese forces. Her letter just highlighted that she would hope that we would move towards ensuring that the people of the Congo are protected, and I would ask that the letter be submitted to the record.
Without objection, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll yield back the balance of my time.